It's thinking, and we're live, so please no swearing. This is a family channel. Hi, and welcome to Seller Ladies Live. Yes, we got our act together and decided that we should have a bit of a go at talking to you lovely lot once again. And I overcame my fear of technology and somehow have managed to make this happen. So we have today the lovely Andrea Hills.
Hello.
We have the lovely Karen.
Hello.
Hello, we have the lovely Corinne.
Hi, everyone.
And then there's me. So, there's me. Right, now we may have a shorter version today. We're going to see how it goes. We're missing some of the people we were hoping to have, because obviously there's more than this in Seller Ladies Live. We're wishing those who can't be with us today that they either get well or get sorted and that everything's all right. Our topic for today, in as much as we had one, was something we were going to do before, which was to kind of talk about the kind of hidden costs of reselling. You know, we all know about buying a stock and the cost of postage and all those kind of lovely things, but there are other things that run along behind it. And I think it's worth a bit of a discussion, because it has to be taken into your kind of business plan and your approach when you're working out how you're going to make your living doing this, part-time, full-time, whatever. So who shall I pick first? I've got this little row of ladies in front of me. I'll ask Karen first for a bit of an opinion. I've got a few things here too, so what do you think?
Do you want one from each of us at a time before I literally delve into a whole list of them?
You can launch, and that gives everyone else time to think, doesn't it?
Yeah, right, I'll do one at a time. The first thing I think you need to think about is your space. It takes up room. There's no getting around it. You might only do small things or whatever, but you know, I think, say if you're going to say, okay, I haven't got a lot of space, so I'm going to do small things. So that's going to be jewelry, for example, as a small thing. That's not got a high sell-through rate, so you're going to need thousands of listings to get anywhere. So you've still got to store it. So I think space is a big thing you've got to think about. You've got to be willing to sacrifice space to earn money.
Well, you've sacrificed your living room, basically, haven't you?
Yeah, my living room.
And I think you're an example of just what can be accomplished, even if your space is very limited. You've been able to portion off part of your living room to make an office, which is brilliant. I mean, it's just inspired, isn't it?
But I couldn't run on less listings. I couldn't, for the brands that I pick up, I need the high number of listings to apparently get the sales through.
Well, that's a whole nother thing, isn't it? Actually getting the bloody sales, because we all know things are a bit slow at the moment. It's not been brilliant.
Now, when we first started out, we lived in this really small terraced house, and basically stock just took over our entire house. We had it stacked. We had that media stacked up in the bedroom. We had games and puzzles and annuals and things underneath Ellen's bed, and our living room was just every space was filled up. It was like our living room was just our office. So it was always really embarrassing having people around, because
it's not an easy thing, is it? It's not an easy thing, you know. I think if you're coming into this thinking it's going to be an easy way to make money, it's not, you know. And you've got to be willing to give up certain things like space to be able to do it.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, I've just taken on this garage, which I still haven't put anything in yet, mind you, because I've got to do a full stock take of nearly 1,400 items, which I should have done when I first started, but I didn't. So lesson learned here. I'm going to know my stock inside and out by the time I'm done. But, you know, it's taken me 3 years of reselling pretty much full time to get to a point where I felt confident enough to say, I'm going to pay up for this space. It's not a huge amount of money, thankfully, but it's an investment. And once you're committed to something, you don't want to, you know, be shifting stuff around for no reason.
Yeah. How about George just said, I tried to run things from the house. The wife thought otherwise.
Yeah, bless them. It is asking a lot of other members of the family when you're tatters. When we've got, I think someone coined the phrase tat creep. When it kind of like expands from where it's meant to be and just kind of worms its way into every little nook and cranny that you've got. I've definitely got that here.
That is the one thing now. Now I've got this space, and it's not big. It's not absolutely massive. But now I've got this space. Nothing goes into the house. The only time things go into the house is when I'm photoing, because there's not enough room in here to photo. And I photo out there. But other than that, it does not go out there. So my mannequin's kept in here. My screen's kept in it. Everything is kept within this space, which is quite nice. So I've got my living room back, my bedroom back.
How about you, Karen?
Well, as we speak, Darren is finishing building the shed in the garden because he's finally realised that he can't have his own workshop full of wooden tools. We need a shed for other stuff as well. So he's in the middle of finishing that, and then hopefully I'll get my living room back, which is full of stuff that should be in this room. So this is my spare bedroom. So if any visitors come from like my family, whatever, they always have to stay in a hotel now because I don't have the room to put them up, sadly. But that's quite good, actually, because I have got quite a small place. So I think if people came to visit, it would be a bit of a squeeze. So yeah, this whole room is all my sewing stuff and all my reselling stuff and nothing else. So all the things that you normally dump in a spare room aren't in a spare room. Is that your doorbell? Nobody ever rings my doorbell apart from the postman.
No, I think it's time. No. And the thing is, I do think you outgrow your space quite quickly. It's one of the things. If you get space, you're going to fill it. I mean, it's like I remember when Sam that's reselling Polly, first got her office unit, and I remember looking at it thinking, wow, that is massive. And then was it yesterday or day before she done an Instagram story? I'm like, wow, she's filled that.
Yeah. You will expand to fill the space, won't you? That's the thing. Whatever space you've got, you know it's going to be rammed to the gunnels within months.
Oh, totally. Yeah, our spare room's also completely full to the rafters, so we could never have anyone to stay.
Yeah.
My spare room is also my office, but I end up currently, because it's a stock room, everything that's listed goes in there, but until it's listed, you don't want to look behind where I can see, but there's quite a big pile of stuff that needs bagging and ready to be put away, because I won't mix my unlisted with my listed stock, because that way lies bloody disaster.
Yeah. So Andrew, you've actually given up quite a bit of your house, haven't you, really? If you look at it for it, you've given up a garage. It used to be a garage, didn't it, when it worked?
It used to be, yeah.
Yeah, so you've given up a garage. You've given up your conservatory at the back of your house because that's where you work. You've given up most of your loft by the sounds of it because that's always home for stock. And you've given up your spare bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our living space is basically our living room and our kitchen.
Yeah.
And our bedrooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try really hard to keep stock out of the living room, but it doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the life for a minimalist, is it, really?
No.
Or an eat freak.
Yeah, a neat freak would have a hell of a time. I mean,
that's my constant battle, because I like things organised and I have a constant battle with stuff. I mean, that rail is driving me crazy because that should all be photographed and put away, and it's not yet because we've had such bad weather. The light's been terrible. I haven't been able to photograph the last few days.
I've been photographing this week. It's been brilliant.
What did you say? Sorry, Karen.
So it's perfect to photo black.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Dark colours definitely are better than in sunshine. It's not so much whether it's light or dark. It seems to be whether you've got a consistent level of lighting. As soon as you get one side that's lighter than the other, that's when you start getting all that weird shit when you try and correct the colours. Oh, the joys of photography. So yeah, space. Definitely, excuse me, I've got runny eyes. It's definitely a thing, isn't it? I always think something that we really don't factor in is actually the cost of our time. Because if you're employed by someone, you'd be getting an hourly rate. And however fast you try and list or however productive you try and be, your time seems to be the very thing that kind of gets eaten into and moved around and messed about with. So do we really value our time? Because that is a cost of reselling.
I think it depends. I mean, because I've had quite a lot of people speak to me about how low value items I do sell. I do sell low value items, but that's because in 6 hours I can list 30 items with no problems. So, but if you're a slower lister, or you can't list as quickly because you're not as effortless as me, as in like you put more effort into your listings than I do, then it would make sense to only list the higher range items.
Yeah.
So I do factor in every single day that I'm working, I will list X amounts worth of value a day.
Yeah, so that's how it is for me now. I have to pick up things that are higher value because I'm so slow.
Me too.
I'm not particularly slow, but I'm aware that it takes pretty much the same amount of time to list a 10 quid pair of trousers as it would to be a £50 pair. So I'm like, hello, I know where I'd rather be working. But it does depend what you can pick up, you know, and sourcing, of course. Yes, it's, I mean, I think we all like sourcing. I think we've established that. We love the hunt, but it takes time. You've got to get there, get back. You know, it's surprising how long it can take, even for a quick charity shop dash.
Yeah.
And that's time that you're not doing something else. So, yeah,
exactly. And we work, we're listing 7 days, well, 5 days in the week. And then on a Saturday and Sunday, especially during the summer, we're off sourcing. So we're working seven days, trying to fit in seeing friends and seeing family as well. We have to fit that in around it all.
I think that's another hidden thing as well that people don't realise, is it's not just list, buy it. You go in the first shop, you pick it up because you found it, you list it, and then it'll sell, and then that's it, all done. It's not, you know, it is a 24/7 job. I've now got to the point on my eBay app, what I've done is I've turned off all notifications between 5 PM and 9 AM. And I'm trying to do it, so I'm going to put my phone on so it's silent, so it's do not disturb with the eBay app at weekends, because otherwise you are constantly working.
Yeah.
You know?
I find myself answering messages like 11 at night sometimes, you know.
Yeah, we all do, don't we? Go digging through the stock going, oh God, I hope she, and sometimes people do buy it. I've got to be fair. I get some very odd questions sometimes, but and occasionally I've got some very old listings that for whatever reason just weren't, they're not up to snuff, you know, because I did them 4 years ago, or some things I have had that long. I've reduced them, but I've not really gone in and spent a lot of time and investment on them. So I will get someone, you know, contact me and say, oh, what's this measurement? And I think, oh, I usually put that in now. But if they buy it, I don't mind, because I want that old shit gone.
Yeah.
I've found the chat now. I can actually say hello to the people in the chat. Sorry, I didn't mean to be ignoring you. Oh, Carla's in, George is in, L33, Mrs. Edward Antiques Arena, Tap Doctor, whee, and lots of other people. Hello, everybody. I would get no points for managing chat. I just wouldn't.
George has made another good comment. He said, the first thing I've learned the most since starting reselling is my time. It's one of the most expensive things to waste, as you can't get time back.
Yep.
Well said. Well said. Yes, George, absolutely. This is the real George Ross, I'm taking it, not the fake one. Yeah, no, I do agree with that. It's amazing that although we sometimes think of ourselves as faffers and fluffers and mucking about and not doing things, you get a lot done. It's amazing. Some days are just more productive than others, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, 2 days last week, I was working, because I work now 4 days a week, 9 till 5. It's the way I work it now. But two out of the 4 days that I was working last week, I did not put up a single new listing. But I was still working.
Yeah, Kelly just mentioned Sue's vlog where she documented her time spent during a typical day. That was a really good vlog, actually. I really enjoyed that.
It was interesting, wasn't it? You know, because you can kind of see that when you're at home, you still got to do, well, in our case, you still got to do things like the washing, the shopping, just the stuff of life still has to go on. Definitely, you don't get time back. And I am precious about my time. I try to be organised and disciplined, and I fail.
You see, I try and treat this as a normal going to an office job. It's hard in school holidays, but when the kids are at school, before I take them to school, so I get up at 6:30 every morning. Before I take them to school, I do a bit of the housework, like tidying up, washing on. Then 9 o'clock when I am home, I am working. I am not doing washing. I am not doing I don't do ironing anyway, but I'm not doing anything around the house because I wouldn't be able to do it if I was out at a normal job. And then when the kids get back from school, they do their homework while I go back to work. And then I normally finish about 5 o'clock, and then that's it. Then I'll say, right, then we all get knuckled down together and we get on with the rest of the housework. But it does, I mean, I'm not really house proud, so it doesn't really affect me that much. But if you're really one of these people that everything has to be done perfectly all the time, it probably wouldn't work for you. But for me, that's the only way I've been able to do it. Because it's not just that, but otherwise also I'd find myself working all the time.
That's the thing, and you've got to know when to stop, because otherwise you're going to have no time for yourself, no time for your family, no time to stop and smell the roses. You know, I stopped this morning because I had to go and mow the lawn, which I know sounds ridiculous, but I put a new lawn down a few weeks back, so I've been waiting to mow, and it's suddenly grown about that long and a bit like my fringe, and I thought I'd better get out there and cut it, you know. But it was nice to do something outside that wasn't related to listing.
Do any of you schedule time with your partners or anything like that? No.
Not really.
Well, Friday night was mine and Darren's Netflix night. We always watch Netflix on Friday night, and then Saturday night we always watch a film. So Friday and Saturday night, that's why I'm never in the live chats or anything, because that's mine and Darren's time every Friday and Saturday night. So make sure we spend some time together. And then in the week, he's either on the Xbox watching football, and then I go in other people's live chats, and we do our own thing in the week. We're usually in separate rooms, but Friday and Saturday night, we always make sure that we're together.
Oh,
yeah, no, we make sure Sunday nights we tend to spend together. During the week, there's normally football on of some description. So I normally go in the bedroom and just watch what I want to watch on TV, which is good. And then Friday nights, Cole has a gaming night with Scott because we've got 2 PlayStations. So they play each other on the PlayStations. And then Saturday night, me and Sophie have Gaily night and watch Britain's Got Talent. So, but yeah, I do make time. We do make time for each other because I do think it's important. But other than Sunday night, it's just another night in the week. So other than football, we tend to watch a lot of the same stuff anyway. So
we do tend to have evenings, and I think that's often why I miss a lot of the live chats, because I'll be cooking dinner whilst trying to sort of keep an eye on the chats. But I usually just pop in and say hello, because once we've sat down to dinner, I'm you know, we kind of sit in front of the telly and have a natter and chat to my son and things like that. So I try and keep the evenings when I'm not sitting there with the computer on my lap listing, because I used to do that, and I kind of thought, if you don't put it down, then yeah,
because otherwise you can work 24/7, can't you?
Yes, exactly, and I'm not making enough money for that. I mean, I'm doing all right, but no, it's just no. You know, there's more important things than the money, to be honest. For me, anyway. You know. Yeah. Something else that I find is a cost that I hadn't truly considered until I had to order up some zippy bags from IKEA this morning. Are things like the actual boxes and the racking and the shelving. It's surprisingly expensive. I use the big Fractor trolley zippy bags because I can line up all my items, and then they're all ready for me to sort of thumb through and pick things out. But I've just ordered 20 bags from IKEA, and it's cost me 60 quid plus £3.95 delivery. So, because I want extra bags, because I want space for things and I want it to be organised. But those big boxes, they must be quite expensive.
What I've got here, it's probably cost £300, maybe £400 to kit it out. I mean, but that isn't all in one go, though. You don't have to go to this extreme to start off with. When you start with, you have an organisation system. Like at the moment, I could do with, and I've got room for another 5 units with the boxes, but I haven't got the money at the moment. As we know, sales are quiet. So at the moment, I've got bags for life with marker pen and reference numbers on them, because that will do just as well until you can gradually buy the things. You don't.
Technically, you could use cardboard boxes, couldn't you? If you had everything labelled up, you could just use cardboard boxes until you could afford to get the shelving. Because that's what I did. I eventually got more and more shelving as I got more, got some more money. Basically, I bought stuff over the last couple of years as I could afford it. So,
and you don't have to have the units either. You can just have plastic boxes. The reason I bought the units is because of my back. Because lifting the boxes up and down hurts my back, so I have to be careful with that. So I've been going to getting the units.
Yeah,
but this is 2 years worth of units here. You know, I haven't gone out and brought them all at once. It's really hard. I do think it's a necessary expense. I don't think it's a necessary expense all at once straight away.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I've just seen in the chat actually, Shelley's popped in. She'd normally join us, but she's had a lot of trouble with her eyes lately. We wish her well, but she said that Tom came to eye casualty with me this week, and it felt like I was getting some quality time with him. Eye infection, you know, get some quality time, go to hospital. Oh dear, it can be a bit like that though, unless something makes you sit down or makes you stop. If you're a bit of a workaholic, Karen, then you know.
I'm not the lady with the dodgy eye.
No, you're not the lady with the dodgy eye. Oh, sorry. Oh, what's that? We actually had, now, because we were going to do this topic before, we did have people asking us a couple of questions, which I'll pop in here. And we had one from, no, I'll get the name right, hopefully, Akidas Slikas. It says, do you set a specific day, week or month as free from reselling in order to focus on other aspects in life? Does anyone actually do that? Do we ever switch off?
Sunday.
Probably not.
Don't do anything on Sunday.
I switch off as much as I can at the weekends and one day during the week. By that, I mean, I'm not sitting at the computer listing, but if I get a question on my phone, I'm answering it. And I mean, it used to be when items used to finish. Now there's good till cancelled, that doesn't matter. When items used to finish, I used to relist them on my phone. But yeah, because my kids, well, they're not young, but they're still young, you know, they're 9 and 11. You know, I'm not going to get these years back. And I want to spend some time with them. And Carl works shift work, so he does 5 days on, 3 days off at the moment. So he'll normally have a day off during the week. So it's nice just to chill out with him one day a week. So, but then even on that one day during the week, I've still got to do my post because I do same day shipping. So,
I don't schedule time, and I think we've just established that we pretty much work 7 days a week. But I do, if something comes up, I put some time aside to do things. Like I went to London with Ellen on Wednesday afternoon. We went off to see a concert. So when things like that come up, I prioritise family. I prioritise, you know, seeing friends, and you can fit that into your schedule because you're working for yourself. You're able to be a bit more flexible. So I don't actually schedule particular time off, but yeah, if things come up, I'll prioritise it.
I think it's that flexibility, isn't it, really? I mean, if we were working rigidly, it probably wouldn't suit, especially with family life. It just doesn't always suit. And I mean, I took off basically 4 days because I went up to Birmingham to see family. Of course, I popped in charity shops while I was there, because how could I not? It would be rude. And it was interesting seeing Birmingham because I don't know Birmingham very well. Although I didn't bump into Donna the Brummie. I was kind of half hoping, but it's a big place. There's lots of people there. But it did mean when I came back that Monday night, I had to work like Billy O just to kind of catch up with myself. So, yeah. No scheduled time, though.
Does Monty want to say hi?
Yeah, he just came in to check I was still here because he's been out in the garden, so he has to come in every so often and check that you're still in here where he left you.
Oh, he's looking after you.
Yeah. Oh, bless him last night, because I didn't feel well last night. He just didn't leave my side last night, cuddled up to me because he knew I was in pain. So sweet. I'm lucky.
And my cat couldn't care less, you know, as long as it gets its stomach fed. It's just lying here on the bed and leaving a cat-shaped bunch of fur. That's it, really. He's not even got the decency to be awake.
I've got that one that side on the sofa, and I've got one underneath there on one of my boxes asleep.
Always climbs all over you, the black one.
Oh, Daisy, she's underneath there asleep.
Oh, how the mischief.
The meower.
Yes, that cat's chatty.
She is.
Now we've actually got another interesting point, and this may be the can of worms that I'm opening here, but bear with. Mrs. M, the illustrious Caroline, said, do we think, especially as everything's gone a bit sort of tits up sales wise, that social media has had an impact? You know, a lot of people doing Instagram not me because I'm hopeless, but some people, is it actually kind of meaning that markets are flooded? Does it affect? Do you think that is what's affecting your sales, or do you think it's just eBay's gremlins? What do you think?
I suppose social media is YouTube as well, isn't it?
It covers everything, doesn't it? Really, that's us.
Well, it's that age-old question: to share or not to share. I don't think. No, I don't think so. I think it's maybe a little bit, but I don't think it makes a massive difference.
Fair enough. What do you think, Karen?
I'm not going to lie. I do think it makes a slight difference because there's more people talking about it. There's more people that know about it. But as we've already been discussing, it's not easy. The actual process of listing on eBay is relatively, well, I think it's relatively easy. But actually doing it and sticking to it is not easy, I don't think. I think there's other factors that are not helping with our sales, but not necessarily the social media aspect. I mean, also, I think we predominantly do clothing. The weather's been so up and down like a yo-yo. We're all still in winter clothes. I've still got my heating going half the time. So people maybe aren't buying the summer gear yet, which is the season now we're getting into. So you could blame the weather. You know, there's so many different things you could blame it on. It's one of them things.
Yeah. What do you think, Karen?
Karen, I've got an important question to ask you.
What?
Do you want 6 inches or 12?
Oh, for goodness sake.
Always
Do you want 6 inches or 12, Karen?
6, please.
6 inches. Are you sure? Are you sure that's enough? Are you sure you don't want 12?
Yes, that's enough. Go away.
You don't want to put it on?
Shut up, I'm on a diet. He's getting me a Subway. Nobody was supposed to know.
Oh, 6 inches or 12. What do you like?
Sorry about that.
That's brilliant.
Right, what I was going to say was, I would know nothing if it hadn't been for people sharing, because a lot of stuff I pick up is from learning from other people. Apart from, I started picking up Clark's shoes straight away, and I've done really well with those.
Ranch for ranch stores.
Yes, Darren, go away. Sorry. Just go. Stop. You're as bad as Nick. You are.
You've been in my wallet.
No, I haven't been in your wallet. You're as bad as Nick. Go away. Sorry. Yeah. So if it hadn't been for sharing, I wouldn't know half the brands that I do. So I appreciate people that share, and I try to share as well if I do find anything interesting. I don't share that much because I don't often find very much interesting. So people might think that I'm keeping stuff to myself, but I'm not. It's just that when I do find something interesting, I will share it, basically. Did that make sense?
Yeah. It made a lot of sense.
Okay.
It did make a lot of sense. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit with Andrew on this in that I think there is some impact that there's got to be, because everything changes and shifts. And I kind of think that there are certain brands that probably have got flooded, but they're the very easy to find ones. We all know, Monsoon and what ones is it now? Oh, they've all gone now, haven't they? There's certain brands where there's a lot of it out there that used to get a reasonable price and now does less so. That will happen. But I just kind of think that you have to change up what you do, and you have to develop. And again, I've learned huge amounts just by seeing things on YouTube, getting ideas or the new brands. It's not the only place I would research. And I suppose I like to show when I've found something that's different and interesting, and I know that there's not going to be 3,000 of them around the country in various charity shops. I know if I find something amazing, chances are I hope someone else finds it, but it's not going to affect the market if they do. I think the problems come with the hotter shoes, for example. There seem to be, I mean, God knows they must breed like rabbits, those bloody shoes, because every time we go in a charity shop, there's loads. And they're usually not very worn either, because plainly it's older people who don't get out much, or maybe, who knows, in the home, they don't get out. So the problem with that is, of course, the market then will get flooded with them. But just because that happens doesn't mean that that's necessarily a bad thing. It just means we've got to be a bit smarter and a bit cleverer. And to do it as a business for year on year on year, you've really got to be one step ahead all the time anyway. You've got to be a bit ahead of the game. And if you're not, you're just going to get swamped by it, or not make the money that you want to make.
Do you think, though, also, I mean, because obviously social media does take a hit all the time. If sales dip, it's because everyone's sharing. Do you think it's also that it's easier for Joe Public to sell nowadays? I mean, you've got to look at, before it used to be you could take it to a boot sale to sell it, and that would be roughly it. Or you could put it in Friday ad, which was a real faff. But now they know how easy it is to list on eBay if they want to do it themselves. If they don't even want to go to that effort, they can put it on Facebook Marketplace. So people are finding things cheaper because, like at a boot sale, you're going to find it cheaper than you would if you're sniping on eBay because people are just wanting to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So the demand may be slowing down more because of that.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, the number of people who can actually be asked to go along to a boot sale and trundle around in the field looking for things.
Exactly.
I think with kids' clothes and maybe kids' toys, that probably has happened. Because as we know, there's no money in kids' stuff on eBay. I mean, Andrew will tell you that. There just isn't unless it's something very, very special or very hot and very new and in demand. But generally, even bundles, people are having trouble shifting. And I think that is because of exactly that. But the more interesting stuff, the retro stuff, people don't want to spend 3 weeks trundling around charity shops trying to find a 1970s long coat.
Yeah.
It's easier to go on eBay. It just is.
There you go. Jiffy JC says, is it that making reselling? Is it that it's making reselling more noticed, or are you noticing it more because you're all reselling?
Indeed. I think we always want to have some reason why things aren't going as well as they are. And I think we all know that reselling, we're, as clothes resellers, which we all are, we've noticed a definite downturn this year compared to last year. We're certainly selling less. And some things seem to be harder to shift. I know I'm down about 17% on where I was this time last year. But my average selling price is up. So I'm selling fewer things, but at a much higher price. Who knows what the magic formula is, but we just keep trying to shift and change and make the best of it, really. There's a lot of chat. I spent 3 weeks reading it.
The chat doctor says, I hear so many reasons for slow sales: school holidays, bank holidays, summer, Brexit, the weather. Do you think that we all just took over for Q4?
No, I don't have a big Q4, so no.
Clothing resellers really don't, do we?
No.
I seem to have really good summers because I do a lot more in the summer than I do in the winter, work-wise, because I always feel better in the summer. So I probably get my best sales in the good months than I do in the winter months, to be honest.
And I really find that it's more sort of springtime and autumn time are the two major periods for me. The middle of summer things seem to just wind down completely, and Christmas I can do all right, but it's very variable. I don't have a Q4.
Yeah, it's the change of seasons, isn't it? When people are looking for new clothing for the change of season, that's when it picks up.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I mean, I'm going on holiday in 2 weeks' time, so I need summer clothes because I'm hoping it bloody well is summer in Sicily. A couple of weeks' time. If it isn't, I'll be coming home very cross. But so I need summer clothes. But I'm sitting here in a jumper. I wore my boots out this morning. It's like crazy.
But in terms of selling other things, I mean, we also sell obviously lots of toys and that kind of thing. And it ticks along all year. But yeah, we do definitely do much better in Q4.
Yeah. Kelly's made a good point. She said, if you ask yourself how people buy on eBay, it usually boils down to two things. They either want something that can't find elsewhere, or they want a bargain. With clothing, if you're aiming to achieve highest price, always be prepared to sit and wait.
Yeah, I want to get rid of some of my old stock, and I will put sales on certain things, categories where I think I've got too many, and I will put sales on. But generally, I know it'll sell, but I just need to clear out stuff so I can put more new things on that I can get excited about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to need to go very shortly because I've got to duck out. But Nick made a point about one thing that is a hidden cost is the packaging supplies. And everything that you need to use for packaging, like tape guns and
ink, anything,
ink,
sellotape,
the stickers for your zebra machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your bags and everything.
Yeah.
It does add up. Even when you try and get things, get boxes secondhand and stuff like that, there is a surprising amount of cost involved. And also the time it takes to make a Frankenbox.
Yeah.
That's half an hour of my life I'm never going to get back.
Exactly. I've got 3 big reels of bubble wrap here now. Because Cole brought home another one yesterday and another one the day before. Because well, I don't know when I'm going to find more. It's there, I have some more.
Yeah, it's lovely when you do get some. I've got some friends who always seem to be getting packaging for things, and I'm like, it's okay, I'll take it. Yes. But mostly I use the bags, the poly mailers, because it's clothes.
Yeah.
I save all my old newspapers for void fill and padding around things. I save packing peanuts. Anything I get gets reused.
Yeah. Oh, 50 Troopers not having a good week by the sounds of it. Anyone else having a pants week full of returns and claims and moronic customers? Well, I've just had these back for being really shiny. They're shiny, apparently.
Oh, they're too shiny.
Trousers. Too shiny. Yeah. So, but in fairness, I had 2. I'm not described that week. One's already come back. That's come back. I'll have a grumble there, but they'll just get relisted. I try not to let it get to me, because if you let them get to you, you're wasting into energy.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't really look that closely at things anymore. I just kind of think on the rolling program is you're always going to get some of that, some returns, some funny customers. I had somebody who ordered a really lovely vintage leather jacket off me, one of those biker crop tops. It was absolutely tiny. I'd explained that. And I sent it off to them, and literally within sort of minutes of getting it, they said, "Oh, it's too small." I'm like, "Well, that's fine. You can return it. That's not a problem. Doesn't fit. That's not an item not as described." And then they started sort of angling for a partial refund and saying it smelt funny. I know it doesn't smell funny. It's like, I wouldn't send something up that smells funny. I smelt a rat, basically. That was what was smelling funny. And I just didn't buy it at all. I just said, "You're welcome to return it." And left it there. And in fact, they never returned it. So the eBay have now closed the case because they never returned it. So that's £85 I've not got to hand back to some numpty. But what gave it away is the name of their account was a shop. I think they wanted it for resale.
And that is another hidden cost, though, isn't it? That people don't think about. If you are buying items to resell, you are a business. Suck it up. You have to take returns.
Oh yeah, there's a can of worms, isn't it? But yeah,
I'm just saying, if you're buying stuff to resell, you are trading online. If you are trading online, distance selling regs or consumer regs now state you have to accept returns.
Yeah, and I would it's true even if you're not a business.
So, and that is a cost you have to factor into it. You don't have to accept free returns. You can charge return postage, but you do have to accept returns.
Yeah, I don't do free returns.
I've just gone over to it last Friday. I've been doing it. I haven't had any back from the free returns.
Be a while before
it's only week 1. So, but I'm factoring it into my cost of it again. So where I'd normally put it up by £3.50 to cover the postage and the bit of the PayPal fees and the eBay fees, I've actually put it up by £4 for the 50p for each. So I'm assuming 1 in 8 items is going to come back to me.
Oh, okay, that's a good strategy.
So I'm not, the customer's actually paying it rather than me.
Yeah, good thinking. Actually, that is a good thought. I'm half contemplating whether to go over to free returns for certain things, not for very heavy things perhaps, but
no, I've not done it on my heavier things.
Yeah.
Any clothing's gone over, but like anything that's going to go Hermes like 2 to 5 kilos or above is not, and medium parcels aren't either.
No.
Everything else, small parcel and below, have all gone free returns.
Okay, I'm going to have to go. So,
okay.
The rest of your chat and have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you, Andrea. Bye.
That's nice.
Antiques Arena put free returns have a stop false claims to return the item and protect your eBay account. And that's what I've done it before.
Yeah, that's why I'm considering it, because my eBay account is okay at the moment, but if people are suddenly going to start being
shiny trousers,
your shiny, non-shiny trousers.
Non-shiny trousers, And the other item, what was the other item, the cock and ball excuse they gave? I can't even remember, but it was absolute tosh. And they've got it as not described, and they're the only two that are on my account at the moment because I think they've just changed it over.
Mm.
I am contemplating it as well, actually, because I don't get very many returns, but when I do, quite often it is some kind of made up excuse to return it, so they get the free postage. So I am contemplating it myself, to be honest.
Yeah, I think as long as you've got to factor it into your cost.
Yeah.
So if you say, for example, you normally charge, I don't know, say if you're going to charge £15 for a top, you're going to charge £15.50 for it.
Right.
To account for the item back, to account for.
I charge £3 and £4 postage, so £3 second class and £4 first class.
You charge exactly what it costs you.
No, I pay £2.90.
So all right, you do it for
extra. Yeah, and I use tissue paper to wrap the stuff, and then one of the poly bags. So that's only like 5p, if that. So I'm still like 5p up, but maybe I should raise the cost of my postage. I don't know, but at the minute I don't get any people saying you've got unreasonable postage charges. They're happy with my postage charges.
The only time I've had it was when it went through as a large letter. I've had someone and they loved the item. They said to come back. That was the other day.
Yeah.
Other than that, my postage before, because I'm now also going partly onto free postage as well. Quite a bit of mine's free postage as well.
Right.
But before then, what I was doing, I was charging £3.75, and my auctions that I've been running, I'm charging £3.95.
Right.
Yeah.
As Carla says, you're actually losing money doing that because you're paying fees on your postage cost.
Yeah.
You're paying PayPal fees on your postage cost.
Yeah.
You're paying out for the tissue paper. I bought 500 cheap for £10, but I've still got to account for that money, plus the tape, plus the poly bag, plus the label. It all adds up.
All right, Carla's telling me off in the chat, so
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Right, so I don't get many people use the first class option unless it's a offer to watchers. Then sometimes people go, "Oh, I've got a bit off. I'll use first class." So I suppose I could maybe go £3.50 and £4 for first class and see if that.
But first class is still £4.
Yeah, first class is £3.50. Is it? I can't remember how much it is. I know I charge quite a bit more for first class than what it actually is.
I know in the post office it's £3 for second, £4 for first. I do all mine drop and go. Purely because I love my little post office and I want to keep them open, and well, customers are paying for it anyway.
Yeah.
So
what I like about the shuttle factor is that there's no postage cost on the sticker. It just says that it's gone first class small or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, I mean, I do all my stuff, my Hermes, and I mean, I charge £3.99 for postage, pretty much for everything unless it's heavy. And I've not actually had complaints about it.
No.
I just haven't, and that means I'm sort of covered. I'm covered for everything.
Yeah. Lisa was asked, do you send everything signed for or tracked? Hermes is all tracked, isn't it?
Yeah, mine's all tracked. Yeah.
Yeah. All small parcels are tracked anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't work because they're out of the office. They're out of work usually. That's why they're buying this way, because they haven't got time to do shopping.
Yeah.
If it's over £20, I will send it signed for to protect my own butt.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And they can just go and collect it a different day because that's how customer service orientated I am. But other than that, if it's large letter, I don't send it tracked. And touch wood, not had an item not received other than the one I was speaking to you about the other day. Not had an item not received since I've been reselling.
Oh, that's good. I've had very few of it, in spite of using my Hermes, which everyone curses. I've actually had pretty good experience of them overall. They're not perfect, and I do have certain gripes with them, but it suits me, and I know where I am with them. So
Carla just said, I get so mad with customers when they send me a message saying your postage is overcharging. And do you know what, Carla? I'm exactly the same, because she said she sent a long message, went back. Right, I actually sent a customer a message breaking down why I charged them, what I charged them for my postage, and said, actually, I've undercharged you. Okay, thank you. Feedback. So
yeah, I've not had to send a ranting message to anybody. Nobody's actually bothered. yeah, I haven't really had any complaints, and I'm slightly surprised. But yeah, it's why I don't worry about doing free postage. But free returns, I must admit, I'm on the verge of just doing it for everything, except for very heavy stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So anything that's standard, so that's small parcel under 2 kilos or lower, is free returns for me. I said I'm only on the second week, so, and I've said because my return rate's just under 3% at the moment, and my INADs, I've got 2. Can't remember. I think it was 0.8 at some point. My INADs. I think that was before they rejigged it again. But I'm expecting my return rate to increase, because if you're offering free returns, people are going to return it. I think, you know, you've got to accept your return rate will increase. But if that goes above 5%, or my INAD rate does not drop, I'll be taking it off again. So you can only try. You don't have to do it, and then they're going to say that's it. It's not like when you go from a private account to a business account. That's it. You can't change back. It's not like that. You know, you can take it off whenever you want.
Yeah, so, like anything, it is worth trying. But I don't think too many people have had bad experience. I'm not hearing horror stories. So, and it's that protection of your account, I think, that people feel is the price worth paying almost.
Yeah. And the thing is with returns, I don't know about you two, I find they come in spades. Yeah. I find I have none for a good couple of weeks. So I've had none for, I think, about 2 weeks. And then in the last, like in a 7-day period, I've had 3. So
actually, Edward from Antiques Arena's made a good point here, and he said actually your sales, in theory, should go up because people have got more confidence in buying from you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be nice. I wouldn't say no.
And to be honest, let's be honest, right? Okay, right. We're all resellers. I mean, most people that are resellers, you've got a printer, you've got access to a computer. If we want to return something, it's not no headache. We're at the post office every day. But think about it from a consumer's point of view that does not work from home, does not have the printer, that is still going out to work 9 till 5. How much of an effort is it to get a top back to you that may be a bit small, or is it just less effort to donate it?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So this really, to come back to the topic, is really a hidden cost of reselling. What you're charging for post can really eat away at your profits if you're not very, very careful. And you have to keep reviewing your pricing structure and how you're doing it in terms of what's convenient for you and your time, which is valuable. So if a post office is nearby and that works best for you, or whether it's a case of, yeah, but I'm not charging the customer quite enough, or I've got to relook at what I'm doing there. It's a big part of it because we get charged hand over fist on the postage. You know, people.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna up my postage price from £3 to £3.50. Yeah. Definitely.
Also eBay fees. I mean, especially if you're doing private listings, they are so complicated. You know, there's no right reason you can actually calculate how much your eBay fees are. Even like if you didn't do promoted listings and you're doing eBay fees, could you tell me how much your fee was on your last item that you've sold? Now remember, you've got to take off part of your shop subscription off that. How much? Who knows?
Yeah.
And all these are little costs that add up. And I mean, I pay my fees daily now. So every day, Monday to Friday, I will pay my fees. But I used to leave it and then just pay it at the end. And that is a big bill.
It's
to pay especially for a couple of weeks.
Mine does come through at the end of the month. I've just sold a hat. A Homburg hat, a vintage.
How are you going to package that? In a box?
It's a box very stuffed with all that newspaper and packing pellets I was saving. So I do like selling hats, but I don't like posting them.
I've got this massive Jacques Vert hat in a big massive hat box. That's going to be a nightmare to post. I'm really thinking about putting that on Facebook because
Is it in a box already, in a hat box?
It's in a Jacques Vert hat box, but the box is massive. I'm going to have to reinforce the box because it could get squished easily. It's just like a really flimsy cardboard box.
You know what I'd do is I'd literally wrap it within its inch of its life in bubble wrap, put it in another box, wrap that in bubble wrap, and put it in another box. Yeah, and you charge them for it. Work out how it's going to be light and big, isn't it? So
yeah, but I've got the Newcastle racecourse not far from me, so I could do it on Facebook, and maybe someone will buy it for the races or a wedding.
Yeah.
So I might try that first and see how that goes.
Might be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I look at things and think there's money in that and think, do I want to postage?
Yeah.
Sometimes I leave stuff behind and go, you know what? Someone else can have the joy of that.
I did that. I saw a Denby full dinner service for £5. I was like, no.
Yeah.
No. No,
Yeah.
thanks.
Oh, there you go. Someone's put the price. It's cost them £12.12 to post a Jacques Vert box. Yeah, so I'll probably just do Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also shop around because I'm not being funny. When I sent Dolly to Z and Bex, it only cost me £10.
Yeah, I do use Parcel Monkey quite a lot because that's how I send all my stuff back to myself. You know, when I source it on my pads. So I could check on there first and see.
That's another thing I think. You know, if you're doing postage, £12.12 seems a lot.
Yeah. Very light hat. Yeah.
It's big, yeah. Granted, it's big, but Dolly weren't exactly small. She was in 2 boxes, but that was still under £10.
Interesting. Yeah, lots of different options, isn't there?
Mm.
I mean, I'm very fortunate in that near where my husband works, there's, I think it's like a DPD, and if you've got something massive and heavy, they're the best rate going. But I've hardly ever used them. But I'm so relieved that I know that if I do sell something big and heavy, and I've got a couple of bits that I really should list, they're not big and heavy. I've got some way of getting rid of them.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I mean, I think when you're first starting out, I think you need to number crunch. It is the boring part of it if you're not into numbers, but you should know your numbers. You need to know your numbers. You need to know that you are making a profit. So you need to know exactly how much your eBay fees are going to be. You want to know exactly how much your PayPal fees are going to be. You want to know exactly how much that's going to cost to post and what your packaging is going to cost you. And yes, that is as boring as anything, but otherwise you might as well work for nothing.
So I was just laughing at a comment there someone put about my husband and presenting me with a 6-inch sub. With the whole eBay fees, I pay mine in 2 halves. So I pay it at the beginning of the the bill goes out at the end of the month anyway, direct debit, but I pay half of it in the middle of the month as well, just so that I know that I've got half of it paid, so I haven't got a big bill at the end of the month.
I just pay mine because I do my post daily. So I top up my drop and go, which I transfer the money from my PayPal into my bank account and then pay it. And then at the same time as topping up my drop and go, and then I just pay my eBay fees. So then I know what money is left in my PayPal other than a certain amount, which, you know, I advise everyone to keep back a certain amount for returns.
Always have a
the last thing you want is to get a return and not be able to do it. You know, I know everything else in that account is mine.
Yeah.
I have like £150 buffer that I keep in my PayPal all the time, just in case of returns or, you know, anything that I need to pay out on. I keep that there because, you know, we've seen it in the past, haven't we, where people take their money, the whole amount, and then they get a return and they haven't got enough money for the return when they're starting out. So, okay, my lunch is ready.
Maybe we should wind it up then if you need to have your lunch. And enjoy your 6 inches of sub.
Chicken and bacon ranch, if anyone wants to know.
Oh, sounds like mayo you have to have in that. Oh dear. Oh, okay. Right, I can't see anything else in the chat. Yeah, putting you.
No, people have got their various strategies there for how they deal with their outgoings, and the thing is to find a strategy that works for you. I think that's key, and make sure you are charging enough for postage. That seems to be tip of the day for the tapsters.
Yeah.
Maybe some financial advice from the lovely Carla, who really has got her act together on that. From what I'm seeing here, so would I fall asleep? No, probably not. Oh dear. Okay, ladies. Well, what we can do is wind it up here. I know it hasn't been the full hour, but it bloody nearly has, you know.
So we've done well.
We've whittled on for a full hour. So, yeah, well, thank you very much. And thanks to Andrea, who's now gone, and all you lovely people in the chat who've been having a splendid conversation there. And we'll probably see you next week, same time.
Yes.
Tatty bye.
Bye.